Good morning, children. Today we will be starting with very important topic which has its own remarkable significance in the history of India. Children, did you remember the two movies Mangal Pandey and Lagan? In both the movies you will find that neither soldiers nor the farmers are happy with the British rule. This is also called colonial rule in India. Yes, children, understood? Now the topic for today is establishment of the British Empire in India. Aurangzeb was the last powerful Mughal ruler. He established control over a very large part of the territory that is now known as India. After his death in 1707 AD, many Mughal governors and big zamindars began asserting their authority and establishing regional kingdoms. Consequently, Delhi could no longer function as an effective center. By the second half of the 18th century, however, a new power was emerging on the political horizon, the British. Children, did you know that the British originally came to India as a small trading company? How then did they become the masters of a vast empire? East India Company comes to East. In 1600 AD, the East India Company acquired a charter from the ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I, granting it the sole right to trade with the East. This meant that no other trading group in England could compete with the East India Company. With this charter, the company could venture across the oceans looking for new lands from which it could buy goods at a cheap price and carry them back to Europe to sell at higher prices. The Royal Charter, however, could not prevent other European powers from entering the eastern markets. By the time the first English ships sailed down the west coast of Africa, round the Cape of Good Hope, and crossed the Indian Ocean, the Portuguese had already established their presence in the western coast of India and had their base in Goa. It was Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, who had discovered this sea route to India in 1498. By the early 17th century, the Dutch too were exploring the possibilities of trade in the Indian Ocean. Soon the French traders arrived on the scene. Armed traders. European traders formed their own companies to trade in India. The English traders formed the English East India Company, while traders from France formed the French East India Company. Both companies fought against each other for many years to capture the trade in India. As long as the Mughal Empire was strong, it had not been possible for the European companies to establish their own military power in India. In fact, emperors Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb had fought and defeated the European companies on a number of occasions. However, some years after the death of Aurangzeb, the different provinces of the empire became almost independent and were ruled by their respective governors. In 1757 AD, the English defeated Siraj ud-Dawla, the Nawab of Bengal, at a place called Plassey and established their rule over Bengal. The Battle of Plassey is an important event in the Indian history. After that, the English started conquering many other kingdoms of India, big and small. Many Rajas and Nawabs understood the British plot and fought hard against them. They included Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore, the Maratha Sardar Mahadaji Shinde, Nana Padnavis and others. But their kingdoms were small. One by one, they lost them to the English. Expansion of British rule. Among those who played an important role in the British success on the battlefield were Generals Robert Clive, Warren Hastings, and Lord Wellesley. Slowly, large parts of India came under the direct rule of the British. In many places, the Rajas and Nawabs continued to rule, but they were under the sovereignty of the English. Discontent with British rule. The English had to fight with many kings and Nawabs to establish their rule. The royal families resisted them because the English would annoy it as and when it suited their purposes. Farmers and landowners resisted them because the English imposed very high taxes on them and collected the taxes very strictly. So they lived in constant fear of failing to pay the taxes and losing their lands as a result. Tribal people also offered resistance because of the new rules and laws that the English began implementing in their areas. As a result, many tribal people lost their rights over jungles and land. Many Hindus and Muslims also feared that the English would destroy their religion and convert them to Christianity. The English faced their toughest battle in 1857 when for a few months their rule was uprooted over almost the entire northern Indian region. This revolt was started by Indian Sipahis or soldiers who were soon joined by royal families, landowners, farmers, tribal people and craftsmen. The royal families who joined the revolt include Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa, Tantia Tope, his general, the Begum of Awadh, the Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi. Hindus and Muslims fought together against their common enemy. The Sipahis of Meerut crossed the Yamuna and reached Delhi. They entered the Lal Killa where Badshah Bahadur Shah Jafar of the Mughal dynasty was imprisoned by the English. They declared him their Badshah and persuaded him to reject the sovereignty of the British, drive out the English and bring back Mughal rule was the clarion call of the rebels. The revolt spreads. The flames of revolt spread from Kasbah to Kasbah and village to village in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The peasants and Jamindars took up arms together and had the English and their officers on the run. They stopped paying taxes to the British government. They tore up railway lines, burned down police stations, courts, posts and telegraph offices and uprooted the telegraph wires. All these were the new services that the English had introduced in India. As defeat started the English in their faces, the Indian people became more and more courageous in the fight against the British. The rebels looted the houses and burned the documents of many moneylenders. These moneylenders had become very powerful in the villages with the help of English laws. Despite the widespread success of the revolt, the English slowly gained control over the situation. The rebels fought bravely, but there were two major weaknesses among them. In every town or region, different groups of rebels fought separately against the English. They did not fight together. There was no combined and well-planned effort. The rebels also faced a shortage of modern arms. Even then, the speed with which the revolt spread frightened the English. So they behaved with greater cruelty whenever they suppressed a rebel group. The English deported Emperor Bahadur Shah Jafar to a far-away location in Rangoon, and it was there that the last Mughal emperor died. The revolt of 1857 was the biggest revolt to challenge the might of the English. After suppressing it, their hold over India became stronger and they ruled the country for the next 90 years. After the revolt, it took the English more than a year to suppress the revolt of 1857. During this period, they changed many of their policies and adopted new ones. In 1858, Queen Victoria of England made an important declaration. She said Indian kings should rule their own kingdoms without anxiety. In this way, they established a close collaboration with the royal families of India. Similarly, the Jamindars too were given many concessions and were assured that their property would be protected. The Pandits and Maulvis were assured that the British government would not interfere in matters relating to Indian religions and would let the old traditions continue. There was also a promise that Indians would be included in the government. The truth is that the English has been their Indian empire being snatched away in 1857. Now they directed their efforts towards giving all kinds of concessions to their allied powerful Indians to consolidate them and ensure that they continue to support the English. Okay, children, thank you.